What's up, YouTube? Timus here. Now, I just made my a list of my top 100 anticipated films of 2025, but I'm not excited for every single movies that's coming out. So I'm gonna be doing a list of my top 10 least anticipated. Like, unlike my anticipated film, I'm not gonna be doing a top 100 here. This one is just straight up top 10. So now take granted, I'm not saying these movies are gonna be terrible. I mean, I always do like I'll definitely give these a fair chance, but these are just films that I really don't have too much high hopes for. Whether it's like the trailer that got released doesn't look good, a sequel that came from a film that came before it's not all that great. Uh, I mean, it's always great when I do go to a movie and they are a surprise and stuff. Like these films on my list could easily be a surprise. You never know, but these are just films I just don't really have too much high hopes for. But here is my list of my top 10 least anticipated films coming out in 2025. Number 10 is Red Sonja. Now, this is, of course, based on a comic book, and as well as a feature film that had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Uh, yeah, Bridget Nelson was in the original. This stars Matilda Lutz and is directed by MJ Bassett, who gave us some not so good films like Solomon Kane, Silent Hill Revelation, so that there doesn't really pique my interest. It's where, like, enslaved by an evil tyrant who wishes to destroy her people, Barbarian Hunters Red Sonja must unite a group of unlikely warriors to face off against Dragon the Magnificent and his deadly bride, Dark Endless. Now, this does star Matilda Lutz, who did star in that really decent little film called Revenge, which was from the same director of The Substance, which was a pretty decent film. But for one, this movie has been shot for quite some time, and they have not even yet released this thing. So I really have zero hopes for this one at all. So hopefully, it will be good. But yeah, it's not like the original was all that great either. So number 9, this is maybe a little unfair because I'm not the target demographic for this, but I just don't understand why DreamWorks is doing this. Number 9 is Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. This is getting a theatrical release. I just don't understand why DreamWorks is doing this for next year and all. But Gabby Dollhouse. Gabby goes on a road trip with her grandmother Gigi to an urban wonderland of San Francisco and has to go on an adventure to the real world to save her dollhouse and her friends from a cat lady named Vera. Yeah, it's safe to say I do not watch Gabby's Dollhouse at all, so I have zero hopes for this one. I just don't understand why DreamWorks is doing this. I mean, DreamWorks do have some other stuff coming out next year that could be good. Like The Bad Guys 2 looks decent. Dogman looks interesting, but this, I don't know. I really not. Yeah, I really don't understand why DreamWorks is doing this, but who knows? Maybe it could be a surprise. I don't know. I mean, why even DreamWorks will release this thing to theaters, but not that Orion film in theaters? Beyond me. But anyway. Number 8 is The Wrong Paris. Now, this movie stars Miranda Cosgrove and Pearson Fode, and is coming to Netflix, and it's from the same director of Irish Wish, which was awful. It's about a woman played by Miranda Cosgrove who joins a dating show thinking it's in Paris, France, for an odd opportunity, but it's actually Paris, Texas. And of course, there she also was, for someone else. Now, Miranda Cosgrove, who I've always liked, from Drake and Josh to iCarly and stuff. Her last Netflix film she put out, she was in, was that terrible movie, Mother of the Bride. So that there takes my interest down. It it just sounds very generic, sounds pretty terrible, so can't really say I'm all that sorry for that one. Number 7 is Now You See Me 3. Now, the first Now You See Me was a surprise. I actually had a fun time with that. Was much better than Heading Intentions Being. But then there was the sequel, Now You See Me Too, which of course was directed by John M. Chu, who would go on to do Wicked and stuff. But the sequel was so awful, so I don't really have too much hopes for the third one. I mean, they do have some new additions like Ariana Greenblatt's in this, Dominic Sessa from the Holdovers, and of course you do got returning cast members like Jesse Eisenberg, Uh, Woody Harrelson's coming back from the director of Zombieland, so that piques my interest. But other than that, it's nothing about really like maybe the trailer will come out and will look awesome, but can't say I'm too excited for the third one. Number 6 is Tron Ares. Now the last Tron movie I thought was okay, but I'm not too excited for this one. One reason why the director. Now the director last did do that. He did do that Disney film, the sport, that recent sport film that just came out, with Daisy Ridley. Forgot the name of it. But The Young Woman in the Sea, which was pretty decent. But he also gave us Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and the last Pirates of the Caribbean film. Not too good Disney films. So I can't really say I have hopes for this one. And you got Jared Leto, who he also did do Morbius, which want. I mean, you do got like some really cool like I believe 2 Inch Nails is doing the score, so that piques my interest. And from what I've seen, it does look interesting, but because of the director and I can't really say I have too much high hopes for this one. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but we'll see. Number 5, this will be unpopular to some cinephiles. Number 5, I'm going with The Way of the Wind. Now, this is a epic biblical film directed by Terrence Malick, with Geza Rowerig as Jesus, and it tells his story. You also got the likes of Mark Rylance, Aidan Turner, Joseph Fiennes, Sir Ben Kingsley. I'm going. This is unpopular to say. I know this is unpopular to say. I'm not really the biggest Terrence Malick guy. I mean, he's made some okay films I've enjoyed, but most of his other stuff, like I don't know, it just hasn't always done. Like the one he did with Tree of Life that he did with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn. That movie is completely boring. He's done some other stuff like I think his best work is probably the Thin Red Line. That is maybe his best work in my opinion. But his other stuff, no, I'm not really too big with. So I can't really say I'm excited for his next one. Sounds like it'd be mostly boring, but I don't know. It'll probably As for the film itself, most likely it'll get a release, but we'll see how they'll appreciate it. I feel like this could easily become his Megalopolis. I hope not, but we'll see. Number 4 is another religious film, and that is Bethlehem. From the director of Sound of Freedom, uh, this do stars Sam Worthington, Ben Mendelsohn, Gail Garcia Bernal, where a young mother protects her child from the murderous King Herod. And this is, of course, the retelling of Mary and Joseph, which we've seen so many times. Like, we just had a Netflix film, which was terrible. So, it's like we've seen these things time and times again. I don't really have too much hope for this one. Uh, didn't really felt Sound of Freedom. That didn't really do anything for me. Uh, and it sounds like he's gonna be boring, so can't really say I'm more excited for that one. Number 3, because the first film was absolutely disappointing. Number 3, I'm going with Strangers Chapter 2 and 3. Now take this with a grain of salt. The trailer that got released does look interesting, but the first film was disappointment. I really wanted to like the first flick, but nothing about it was all that great. Some of the characters, like, it just didn't do anything for me, so I can't really say I'm all that excited for this new one. And of course, they do have 2 and 3 coming out. Whether they both come out in the same year, that has to wait and see. I could easily see part 2 coming out next year and part 3 coming out the following. I don't see them releasing both films in the same year, but I don't know, we'll see. Speaking of part 2s of something, number 2 is Horizon and America Saga Part 2. Now, of course, Kevin Costner, like, this was supposed to come out this past year, but the first film flopped, and so who knows if this thing's gonna get released. But it's already in the can, like whether they release it in theaters, whether it's Max, I don't know, but can't say I'm too excited for Horizon. It's just yeah, I really don't have too much hopes for this one at all. So yeah. And number 1 is none other than a Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie it looks awful. I I hate to say it because it doesn't look so good. I mean, I'll probably watch it because it is from this director Napoleon Dynamite, which I like. But the trailers just look so terrible. Doesn't look all that appealing. And obviously, I'm not much of a Minecraft guy, but yeah, this thing just looks. It looks like fan made. Really, it doesn't look all that great. Looks abysmal. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping this is a surprise. But yeah, this movie just looks like an awful film. So anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here's my quick rundown: 10 Red Sonja, 9 Gabby Starhouse, 8 The Wrong Paris, 7 Now You See Me 3, 6 Tron Ares, 5 The Way of the Wind, 4 Bethlehem, 3 Strangers Chapter 2 and 3, 2 Horizon and America Saga Part 2, and number 1 is a Minecraft movie. Now there's some others I could have added, like another like a Jesus animated film called David, Flight Risk, Plankton the movie. I mean, I should get interested in that because I do like the Plankton character. But after the Sandy Cheeks movie, have zero hopes for that one. Uh, there's loads of other ones. And before you ask, where's Snow White? I That's actually my anticipated list. I don't care what anyone says. I think Snow White's gonna be good, but we'll see. Anyway, let me let you guys. What are some of your least anticipated films of 2025? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Tim